Hey, Stream Team, Dr. Joe Pazona. In the past 5 years, I've performed over 4,000 vasectomies here at Pazona MD. And although regret is rare, it can happen with guys. And here are the top 4 reasons why a guy may regret a vasectomy. The first, he just wasn't ready for it. Number 2, they entered a new relationship and they just weren't on the same page as their partner. Number 3, and this is a big one, pain. They are scared that this thing's gonna hurt or they have a lot of pain afterwards. What's the 4th and biggest reason that a guy might regret having a vasectomy? Well, it's not what you think, and you're gonna have to stick around to figure out what that is.
Balls Deep.
Welcome to Balls Deep, a humorous yet informative medical show with a mission of optimizing your performance in the bedroom, the bathroom, and the boardroom. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Pazona, a board-certified urologist and CEO of Pazona MD. We hope you enjoy. Now, let's jump right in. You obviously clicked on this video because you're interested in a vasectomy. Well, did you know that patients travel from all over the country to come visit us at Pazona MD here in Nashville? Click on the link below and you can chat with one of our patient care representatives and they can see whether or not you'd be eligible for coming in for a same day, no needle, no scalpel vasectomy. And you can plan an entire weekend around getting snipped and then honky-tonkin' on Broadway. Now back to our show. So let's dive deeper now into the 4 reasons why someone may regret a vasectomy. So the first one is a guy's just not ready. Now, there's no doubt there is some correlation with age. You know, they say the male brain is not mature until age 25. I'd argue at 48, I'm still not there yet. But data would suggest 25 is a pretty reasonable point where most of us are mature enough. And I think all guys can relate to the fact that, you know, there were things you thought or did in your late teens, early 20s that you just don't feel the same way about. So you could imagine that although what you feel strongly about at age 22 might change when you're 32, especially when you meet that special someone. So you always want to really give this some thought. And I think that the guys who are the best candidates to have a vasectomy when they're young are the guys who have just known their entire life. You know, Doc, when I was a kid, I just knew I didn't want to be a dad. And I've thought about this for years and I have just zero inkling. This just isn't for me. And sometimes that's just something inherent. Sometimes it's brought on by different traumas or upbringings that cause you to have a sour thought on parenthood. But if you have any doubt in your mind and you're still young and single, listen, just be careful with your contraception and maybe hold off on that vasectomy for the time being. Reason number 2, a guy may regret a vasectomy, a new relationship. I actually had a colleague who got a vasectomy, had 3 kids, was married. Well, divorce came into play and of course wasn't anticipating that, and met his new future wife-to-be. And, you know, she always wanted kids. And so he went and had a vasectomy reversal and then actually had to go for another vasectomy reversal. So, you know, I tell guys all the time, listen, life's going to throw you curveballs. You never know what's going to happen, whether it's relationships, something happens, God forbid, to a child. But you want to think about it. If you're just entering a new relationship with somebody, although it may feel like it's a forever relationship, make sure you're on the same page and make sure it's a decision you're comfortable with, because that relationship may not last. And then you're on to a new partner another year from now and they've always wanted kids. So really, a vasectomy should be when you're in a long-term committed relationship and you and your partner are definitively on the same page that, hey, kids are not our future, or you've made that decision yourself and you're going to hold firm saying, no matter who I meet, I don't care how cute she is or how much she wows me over, I'm not getting this thing reversed. And if this means we can't be together, then so be it. So guys, make sure that you are definitive and that the partner you're with is definitive, because some things don't last forever. Reason number 3, a guy regrets a vasectomy, pain. Now we got to break this up into 2 different aspects. There's the pain during the experience, which is often related to who you go to see a vasectomy. Now, we do a lot of these at Pazona MD. Again, 4,000 to be exact over the past 5 years. So what does that mean? It's something we're really good at. We give guys laughing gas. We use a no needle, no scalpel technique. So a lot of guys, when you read about it on the internet or a Reddit thread that they regret the vasectomy experience, it often means they just didn't go to the right guy. Now, are there guys who come and have a vasectomy with me and it's pretty rough for them? Absolutely. And I think the biggest piece of advice I can give to a guy considering a vasectomy is your mindset coming into the procedure really makes a difference. If you come in amped up, anxious, going, this is going to hurt, it's probably going to hurt more. Your body's releasing chemicals that lead to more pain and stress. These are real things. When your balls are being pulled up tight because your muscles are so tense and you're so anxious, it makes the vasectomy more difficult. So one thing you can do for yourself is really get in that good mindset before coming in, and that should lower the amount of pain you have. Now, there's a second type of pain that can happen after a vasectomy that can often cause regret, and this is something called the post-vasectomy pain syndrome. Now, a lot of urologists don't talk about this. They don't know how to manage it. They act as if it doesn't really exist, but it does. Now, here's the good news. In the last 4,000 patients that I've done this procedure on, I've only had one patient who needed to go ahead and get treatment for post-vasectomy pain syndrome because he was just having unrelenting daily pain that started after a vasectomy and then didn't get better. And there was nothing in particular about his procedure that went different than any of the other guys. It's just everybody is unique. Every vasectomy is unique, and sometimes something like this happens. So it does exist, but it's not as often as you'd think. Again, looking at the subreddit threads on vasectomies where it makes it seem like every guy has this pain syndrome. It is exceedingly rare, but it does happen. Now, we don't really know what risk factors lead to it, so we can't say definitively it's related to technique or any patient factors, but it does exist. It's just exceedingly rare. All right, you made it. We're here to number 4, the biggest potential reason a guy may regret a vasectomy. It's the fact that sex is going to change. Now, here's the myth. It's actually not going to get worse. It's going to get better. Any guy who's out there on the internet who's talking about how sex has gotten worse after a vasectomy, it's just not related. Now, again, the only caveat could be a guy who's having that post-vasectomy pain syndrome. But separate from that, there is nothing we can humanly do during a vasectomy that's going to impact your erections, your ability to get firm, stay firm, your hormone levels. None of that's going to change afterwards. All we're doing is stopping the swimmers from jumping in the pool. And, I get guys coming in all the time. They're like, all right, I'm ready for my castration. And I see what my dog went through. I'm like, dude, totally different than your dog. I had a guy who came in who castrates bulls. It's nothing like that either. They're removing the entire testicles. They're removing them to cause a true menopause or for the male dog or the male bull because they don't want them to be aggressive and they don't want them procreating. But listen, I want you to have your testosterone levels. In fact, we're experts at optimizing those levels. So all we're going to do is stop those swimmers from reaching the fluid so there's no more pregnancy. So sex is not going to get worse. And if it does, guys, it's all up here. There's nothing humanly possible we're doing that's going to impact your performance. Don't worry. Sex is not going to get worse. If anything, it's going to get better. Remember, for women, sex is between the ears. It's all about you manning up, taking control of the birth control for your family and your relationship. And nothing's going to turn on a woman, maybe short of, Brad Pitt doing dishes in your kitchen without her shirt on, than you stepping up and helping her out. So trust me, data shows more sex after the vasectomy. So guys, here's the deal. If you want to make sure that you have a regret-free vasectomy, here are my recommendations. Number 1, really be honest with yourself and make sure that for the time being, you are truly done. If that's your mindset, then a vasectomy might be a great choice for you. Number 2, please talk to your partner. Have that imaginary conversation with your future partner. That hot little thing who, you swore you're never going to have kids with, but she's really, pressuring you to do it. Make sure you're comfortable and confident having that conversation. And then lastly, pick the right doctor. We do a lot of these at Pazona MD. When you go and see a doctor and they say they're experts in all of these things, you should run away. It means they're experts in none of it. This is one of the few things that we do, and we do them really well. I've got colleagues across the country who also really specialize in vasectomy, and that's going to make this more regret-free. And then lastly, realize that, listen, life throws you curveballs and there's always options. You can always get a vasectomy reversed, although it's a much bigger deal, it can be done. You can always bank sperm. We offer cryopreservation for sperm in our office. So there are other things that you can do, but the last thing I want you to do is to come into a vasectomy and regret it. So as I say, doubt means don't. So if you're not sure, it just means you're not ready. And when you are, we'll be waiting here at Pazona MD. So with that, show yourself a little bit more love and kindness. We're all works in progress, and these are opportunities to grow. Hope you found this helpful. Thanks, and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Balls Deep. If you'd like to join our stream team of listeners, please click the subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. For more information about our practice, Pazona MD, please visit pazonamd.com. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and the content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. The show does not constitute the practice of medicine. No doctor-patient relationship is formed through this podcast or any of the social media channels related to this show. The use of this information is at the user's own risk. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice from any medical condition they have, and they should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.